It's Gaz, and welcome back to the WARFRAME video. So, another discussion video for you today. Now that we've gone through an entire rotation of incarnon unlockers and a little bit of an extra week 6, I've really been thinking about what is going to be the purpose of this steel path circuit after we've gone through all the rotations. That'll be a discussion video today. I'm also going to be talking about the circuit in general and how it's already gotten stale, and some ways I'd probably spice it up for people that are having to grind out all these incarnon unlockers still. So we'll be going over all that stuff today. Hope you enjoy these types of videos. Also, check out the live stream. I'll be live after this video goes up, and I'm done grocery shopping and stuff. So give it like an hour, I'd say, and I'll be live on the stream. We'll be leveling up some weapons, and the Gruta video is not out today because I want to do some more Gruta testing today, just to make sure I got everything the way I want it to. Enjoy it. Appreciate all the support, guys. All right, so as far as the circuit, I'm assuming you know what the circuit is if you're watching this video. If you don't know what the circuit is, it's the new game mode for Duviri. It's where the incarnon unlockers come from, and there's also a normal path version that basically no one plays, unless you really need a specific frame. So, I'm just going to give you the quick overview of it. There could be a long description of what it is, but yeah. So this is the steel path circuit. Reward track is where you get your incarnon unlockers, get 2 of them per week. It's a 6-week rotation, and once you get all 5 of the weapons from each week, there will be pretty much no reason to run this. And the reason for that is that when you have a second incarnon unlock, let's say I got a second Dread incarnon unlocker, there is no reason to have a second one. There's no second version of the Dread. You can't delete the incarnon Genesis thing for like Pathos clamps or anything like that. It's just a waste of time. So once everyone has gotten every weapon from each week, there will be almost no reason to rank this up. So I think DE should think about this. Either make it where extra incarnon unlockers can be deleted for Pathos clamps maybe, or extra incarnon unlockers can be traded or something. I'd say the best way to do it is make it where you can delete them for Pathos clamps, like 50 Pathos clamps or something, or maybe even more for one incarnon unlocker being deleted. Because really, there's no reason to get a second one. Pablo even said on Twitter, they're even making it where you can remove incarnon unlockers from weapons and put it on other versions. So, for example, if you are really into the Boltor Telos version and you want to try the Boltor Prime, you can do that once Echoes of Kullervo or 7 Crimes of Kullervo comes out. So that's something to really keep in mind. So, but I'm even looking for further, deeper here. Already, these circuit missions are getting boring. So I've actually made how I would make them more exciting for each mission type. So let's start off with the one we have right now on the screen. So we got Survival. I find Survival in Circuit to be, it's just winning on the timer basically. It's the same as normal Survival, but it feels like the enemy density can be pretty bad here. So maybe do something about the enemy density. I'm sure they already have a lot of stuff coded that way because, they do spawn somewhat near you. But, yeah, for 4 players, it just doesn't really feel like there's that many enemies. I pretty much just stand around and do nothing most of the time for Survival. Also, what they could do to make this more exciting, I'd say make every mission type in Circuit really noticeable. Like, okay, that is definitely a Survival circuit we just did right there. I walked away from that with maybe some extra loot that I wouldn't get from other types of missions in Circuit. So I'd make it where you can get the Conjunction Life Support Thrax to spawn here, which would make the Life Support drain at twice as fast. Also, if you can, make it where the enemies spawn closer to you, so it's just a constant enemy flow. Like, there's a pretty good hallway right there, but that hallway's dead in one shot, to be honest. Additionally, if they add in those Lua Thrax that drain the life support twice as fast, I'd say make it where they can also drop Arcanes. The whole, it's been out for a month and a half, time to make the grind less annoying time has arrived, DE. You're putting those portals on Duviri that will give us access to guaranteed Arcanes. I'd say make it where some enemies in this mission can drop Arcanes too, just like on Zeramon. If you did Zeramon's circuit, or rather Zeramon Cascade, sorry, lots of things to keep track of here. Circuit, Cascade. For the Zeramon Cascade, those Thrax can drop Arcanes, which are technically them dropping extra rep for you. If they made it where Survival on Duviri had these special Lua Thrax that dropped Arcanes and drained your life support faster, it would make it more difficult feeling and also feel more rewarding. One of my biggest problems with Circuit is how these enemies don't even drop. That guy just dropped Alloy Plate. I feel like that might have been a bug. I don't think they're supposed to drop resources, to be honest. And the main resource you are getting here is Rune Marrow, but if you don't go out of your way to pick up the Rune Marrow, you're not going to even get any of that either. So you're basically playing these missions and the enemies are dropping literally nothing. Like, I think, like, I saw an enemy just drop alloy plate. I legit think that might be a bug. So as far as survival, I would make it where it's more exciting because there's more enemies around you. Make it where mini-boss enemies spawn, and make it where you get additional loot upon completing it. Or rather, an RNG chance for more loot. Let's move on to the next game mode here. And I think we got Void Flood. Okay, so for Void Flood, I consider Void Flood a good game mode for this, but not for the reason that DE should probably be wanting players to be saying that for. I consider Void Flood a good game mode for Circuit because it's just so free. There is literally no way to fail. You don't even need to kill enemies pretty much, except for the couple thracks at the end. It's just a completely free wave, and it's pretty much just like jump around and pick up the orbs. I think that it's too easy, personally, and I also think that it's not exciting enough. You know, just jumping around picking up orbs, like, yeah, pretty mindless. What I would do to Void Flood in for Circuit, now, of course, they could make it only on the Steel Path or something like that, and then it does this, but I think Void Angels should spawn here. If you look at the dialogue that Teshin says, he literally references Void Angels in Void Flood dialogue for Circuit. So what I would say is maybe after like the second or third rupture is closed, an invincible Void Angel will spawn. Or invulnerable Void Angel. Now, if you don't want to make it invincible, make it have like 99.99% DR. The point is, this enemy is not meant to be killed. This enemy is meant to make it so you actually are doing the objective and have a little bit of an enemy threat. Because as you see, I'm running around with a non-invisibility frame Necros, just jumping around. I'm not getting shot at. It's so easy. It's kind of just a joke. So I think they need to make the difficulty escalated a little bit here. An invincible Void Angel, like walking around, throwing out its like Nova Bomb attacks, the spike attacks that it does. I think a Void Angel should be here because Teshin references it. But additionally, I just think it's too easy, personally. There's not really any threat at all. The threat is, oh my gosh, I hope my teammates stop killing those enemies and pick up the orbs, so I'm not the only one picking up the orbs. That's literally it. You just hoping to not waste too much time here. And people will just like mindlessly kill the enemies. I know I've done that too. Killing enemies in here is not necessary at all. They will technically drop some Vitoplast, but you can just pick up the Vitoplast by jumping around. So, yeah, not any actual reward increases from this one, but I'd say a difficulty increase because it's just too free. It really is. Even at level 10,000, it would be the exact same situation. Because, like, I mean, look at the minimap. There's no enemies. There's one enemy to the left. I can't even see him. He's so far away. So that would be one of the ways to do it. Make it where your actual dialogue makes sense. And let's move on to Excavation. All right, so we had Survival and Void Flood. Excavation. This is one that actually is not failable, surprisingly. You would think that Excavation is available because you're trying to defend something. No, if you defend that stuff, it just gives you whatever cryotic it said it was going to give you, and then you just keep grinding away, try to get that 300. So the biggest thing I'd want to change on Excavation, I think that the fact the game mode is there is fine, but again, I'm going off that dialogue. Why is Teshin saying Void Treasure Extracted when we're only getting cryotic from this? I would say increase the rewards of Excavation here. Make it where Teshin's voice lines are actually correct. So when you complete an excavator for this, if I was to get the rework I wanted here, you'd be either getting a relic, some void traces, or something else that's actually good. Maybe even an arcane or something. I'd say probably a relic would be the best. But yeah, it doesn't feel very satisfying to play Circuit as far as the rewards go, besides like, the actual upgrade tree or upgrade track. But here it's even amplified more. The freaking quest giver is telling me you just got a void treasure, and I'm looking at 100 cryotic. So there's definitely some immersion breaking there. I think DE should do good with their dialogue, put Void Angels on Void Flood, and also make it where we're getting an actual Orican Void treasure from the excavator, not 100 cryotic. Besides that, you could even throw on Steel Essence on the Steel Path version. One of the biggest complaints I have with the Steel Path version is you get 0 Steel Essence. Like, what you're seeing right now, fighting level, I guess 500, I can't even see what level they are, level 200, 300 Steel Path enemies, 0 Steel Essence from doing this. That's a complete joke. Seriously, they should add in Steel Essence somehow, make it from excavators, make it 1 per wave, whatever you gotta do, make it where Steel Essence is being given to the players from this, because it just doesn't make any sense that it doesn't drop here at all. I can understand no Acolyte just because spaghetti code, but you should be giving us Steel Essence in some way. The only Steel Essence you get from grinding out Steel Path Circuit is at level 9 on the the reward track, which is only once per week anyway, so it's a complete waste of time if you want to do lessons. So yeah, the main things there, just reward increases for this. Let's move on to the next game mode, which is going to be, I think we got defense here? We got defense. Okay, so this might sound cynical to some of you guys. For defense, what I would do is I would remove defense. I would remove defense from the entire circuit because it just is a buzzkill. It really is. It's the only game mode that really feels failable. And they've actually done multiple changes to make the Thrax not damage the golden cradle as much. But still, I mean, it still is like every team basically is like, I don't want to deal with the defense right now. I don't want to deal with an excavation. Those two game modes are definitely the ones people leave on the most. But on defense, they're leaving for very good reason. You technically could lose all the progress you got the entire mission if you fail defense missions. So, but here's like if they find the need, they must keep defense. They can't replace it with anything else. Then I guess just make it where the enemies spawn somewhat closer to the defense target, so the waves go faster. I really think they should just remove defense. If you guys have any suggestions of what they should do to change defense in Circuit, let me know in the comments down below. But I didn't really put too much thought in this one because I think they should just really remove it. It is the most hated game mode by pretty much every player. And I'd say definitely for good reason. I mean, Excavation is technically not failable, but Excavation can also waste a bunch of your time. Since it's like, you don't get to leave until you get that 300 cryotic. That can also be a big waste of time too. So people leave on those missions for good reason. For the final one, DE already told us what they're doing for Exterminate. Exterminate is going to have Corrupted Captain Vor added to the mission. So I have no problems with Exterminate right now. We're trying to beat these missions fast. It is literally just the quickest mission possible, Exterminate. They're trying to make it take longer. That's why they're throwing Captain Vor in there. So, yeah, that's what they're going to do. That is going to be an Echoes of Kullervo, certain kinds of Kullervo. So, those are my changes I would make to all the circuit game modes. Of course, if they were going to actually ask me for opinions, I'd think about it a little bit more. But, yeah, I think it's really a big reward issue. And that will be compounded even more once we get to week, I guess it would technically be like week 18, right? When everybody gets every incarnon from every rotation. Because, I mean, it's actually going to be earlier when we get week 6 again, because I've already got everything but the Siberia from week 6. So I will go to rank 5 on week 18 or whatever it's going to be for the Siberia and I probably won't even do week 6 again. So if that's what DE wants, make it like call missions where nobody does them anymore, then so be it. But I think they could definitely do something to keep this as a long-standing game mode people come back to for years and years. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Appreciate it. And I'll be on stream very soon. Just going to go buy some groceries right now. You guys take it easy. Peace!